Hello, everybody, and welcome to another weekly episode of Via the Void, a Warframe weekly news podcast about everything that happened in Warframe this past week. So let us jump right into it. Sorry. For always with me is my good friend Age Nightroad. Say hello, Age.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Let us jump right into it. So first up, the Halloween event. It came out, I believe, last Friday, I want to say. Yeah, because they were saying on prime time that it would come. So yeah, it was Friday. It is the Hallowed Flame Tactic Alert. And you can actually get these rewards from it, as you're seeing here. But in the blog post, it talks about lighting up the darkness with the Hallowed Flame. Survive the hordes of infested plaguing the origin system. If you have tried it, or maybe if you're even noticing from the image there is a familiar face. It's similar to basically the events are basically similar to the fight at the end of the previous Nightwave mission, where with the Zealoid, the emissary guy. Though it's only the part where you have to fight the shade of him that drops the lantern, and once you pick it up, it kind of turns into a survival mission where, as long as you have the lantern either near you, or if you're holding on to it, as you're killing enemies, it increases the percentage, but the percentage of the lantern keeps ticking down. So you're basically trying to survive as long as possible. And I believe mission 1 is like 5 minutes. I'm going to say mission 2 was 7 minutes. I think mission 3 was 10 minutes. And then after you do those 3 missions, it opens up the 4th mission, which is, they just refer to it as endurance mode, which you can go in there for infinite amount of time. You can leave in increments of 5 minutes, but if you want the reward, you need a score of 900, which is 15 minutes. So basically, you'd be in there for another 15 minutes. What you can get out of it, the rewards, as you're seeing in the image, the Orkin Catalyst from Mission 1 for completing it. Mission 2, you get a Forma for completing it. Mission 3, you get an Aura Forma. And Mission 4, the Endurance Mode, you get the Neighborous Ephemera, which is kind of the little bat ephemera that they've been showing off a little bit here and there, along with the Stratos Emblem. And like I said, you have to stay in there for a score of 900, which is right at 15 minutes. But like I said, it's similar to the Nightwave mission where you're just fighting infested while trying to keep that lantern lit. And really the only difference with it is eventually it'll give you like a little check or navigation point that says like, oh, there's a horde here, which I guess means that there's going to be a heavier amount of infested there, so it might behoove you to go to that spot. But the important thing is always trying to kill it within that blue, like if you look on your mini map, there will be a blue circle. That's the lantern's radius, so you have to kill it with inside the lantern. So you can't just it really drives home the idea of everybody has to stick together, because I know a lot of times in Warframe missions, as soon as it drops, especially in a public match, everybody's just going off and like catch up, or heck, by the time you load in, it might already be over. But not in this case. You kind of need everybody to stick together. I would say it's not a big problem for the first 3 missions. I know endurance mode, there can be a problem where you might be killing the things too fast that you're wasting percentage, and then all of a sudden you'll hit a lull in enemies, and then it'll tick down. So you actually have to not a lot of times just mindlessly kill. So you have to be kind of strategic about it, look at the percentage, make sure to stick together. And so I know a lot of people are actually enjoying it and hoping that it becomes a regular game mode. But yeah, have you gotten to try it, Age? Or
so be like, no, I haven't. It sounds like a survival 2.0 type.
Yes, it very much does. It very much is like that.
Yeah, but it sounds like it sounds like you don't have the large life light sources, but you have the little light sources that you have to pick up. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Well, you only have the one light source, and once it goes out, it basically says, all right, go to extraction. That's your point amount.
But you recharge it with infested, or you recharge it with...
Yeah, you charge it with infested kills within the radius of the lantern, which that's the thing. As the percentage gets lower, the radius for the lantern gets smaller too. I think the first time I went in with a public group for the mission 4, which was trying to go for the ephemera and the emblem, we unfortunately had a what is it? Is it Loki that does the portal or the rifts? Limbo. Sorry.
Limbo.
Yeah. And that was the big problem, was he was putting his bubbles that would stop the enemies before the lantern's radius. And at first it wasn't a big problem, but like I said, once it got to like 13 or 14 minutes, the percentage, like I think the percentage started plummeting faster and faster, like just to make it harder. So it was like it just dropped at one point, and we're just like, you're stopping all the enemies.
Damn Limbos, always ruining everyone's fun.
Well, I think another problem is also, I think they're fighting the mentality of, when you go into a mission, you see the objective point and you just go straight to it, right? Like a lot of people just don't even kill along the way. There's no point, right?
Yeah.
Well, in this one, the moment I decide, like, no, I saw one tip that I noticed people were doing was you can drop the lantern, and as long as you're killing in that radius, in that ring, it'll stay there, which is kind of nice because it allows for a static ring for even the other players. Because if someone's walking around with it, you might be fighting something and then they walk out a little bit and it's no longer in the zone. So probably the best bet, especially if you're having trouble with this, I've heard, is put the lantern on the ground. That way, hopefully no one else picks it up, but that way everybody knows this is going to be the area. The only time I ever picked it up was when it would give us that next horde spot. But I think I noticed the other problem was, especially later on, like I said, it started decreasing faster and faster. If you just try to make a beeline for that and not kill anything, you might end up failing on your way to the thing, or you'll be at like 25 or 30% and think you can catch up by killing some of the enemies, but you just can't kill them fast enough. And then you'll fail. So I think the best bet, at least it's what worked for me, was on top of setting it on the ground so it's a static spot, just go as a group, run, sprint or whatever. You don't really have to do the jumping thing. Just kill things along the way, because that'll just keep the thing at least somewhat stable, and it makes it, I feel, like a lot smoother transition. Because you don't have to go into the horde ring. I think that's just kind of a recommendation of, okay, there's going to be a lot of infested there, but you could theoretically stand outside the ring and keep killing. It's just the biggest thing is, as long as things die within the lantern's radius. But yeah, like you said, it's like a survival 2.0, but I think it does do a lot of things that I think challenge the main thinking of Warframe players.
Which is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems good. In that case, like I have a spot where I usually farm infested. I usually go for like 20 minutes. I think the longest I've ever gone casually is with leveling Wukong. So I'll probably just do that.
Yeah, I think they recommend Wukong. I know for me, I think I was having success with my Oberon, mainly because it could keep you healed up. But also the nice thing is, if you lay down Hallowed Ground, it's not a lot of, like, it's a lot of small ticks of damage. So it kind of, especially if things are walking in at different times, it won't kill them instantly. So it keeps, like, I've noticed it kept the lantern a little bit more stable than something that could just instantly nuke everything. And then you might have added too much percentage and lost some basically. So But yeah, like I said, I think the two biggest things is if you can put the lantern on the ground just so everybody's aware that it's static and not just make an instant beeline, then you'll probably should be pretty successful, at least to get to the 900 score and get your bat ephemera.
And be Batman.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen so many people playing with that on the Reddit and stuff. But yeah, and and people have said since I was not, at least I don't think I was interested in the Halloween. No, I wasn't interested in the Halloween event last year, but it was just kind of, I think it was my first Halloween one. But I heard so many people saying like it's tough and it's boring. It's the same one every year, but this one's actually a new one, and a lot of people have really gravitated towards it.
Nice.
So,
it's nice that I know it's hard for companies because they want like festivals to be recurring stuff with new awards, but it's kind of nice every now and then if you drop like something new. Just keep people entertained. Like it doesn't have to be every year, but like every 2 years would be kind of nice. So,
yeah. Especially if you have multiple versions, maybe one year it's the original version, then the next year it's the new, like this version, and then the year after it's a third like you can rotate them out so it's not the same thing. Or
yeah,
but
seems good.
Yeah, so definitely do that. I think it ends November 1st if I'm not mistaken, so it is ticking away pretty quickly. Make sure to jump in and grab that if you can. I know we were talking about last week, the update 26 that had like the Vauban rework, the Ember rework, Grendel, the Melee update, the Kuva system, the Kuva Lich system, and they were thinking that they were going to get it out last week. They were hoping. There was no guarantees, like we stressed, and sure enough, they did put out a post that just said they did have the plan to come out, for it to come out last week, though they did have, I think it was Wednesday evening on the forums, they stated that it wasn't coming out this past week, but they did say that they're close and that they would show more things off during prime time, which was last Thursday, which we'll talk more about that. But a little bit of an update, they did tweet out today that it will be releasing this week. So hopefully, I don't know, what day do you think it's going to drop? I know that's a lot of people they're wondering.
Usually patches for Warframe.
Let me refresh real quick and make sure it didn't just drop.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, yeah, I guess I can check, but I don't. It'll drop maybe tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I know. I could.
Because just thinking about it, I haven't really focused on when they actually do patch cycles. So, but if anything, I would say like the odd day out is usually on Wednesday.
Yeah. So you're thinking tomorrow? I would not mind that.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Thursday or Friday. I don't know why.
I don't think they do it Friday. No one uses,
especially since it's such a big system. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to throw it out on Friday.
Yeah, you don't. You usually throw like hot fixes out on Friday, not like a big feature. So
Friday Thursday, it is.
Wednesday or Thursday for sure. I'm going with Wednesday though.
Then I'll go with Thursday. Even though I would have loved it come out last week, but though granted, I would love it to come out Wednesday because Thursday I do have to do the whole. I'm not trick or treating, but I'm, dealing with trick or treaters. So, my mind thinks Thursday, but my heart wants it to be Wednesday. Chat saying they think it's usually Thursday. That's what I thought.
Oh,
I thought it was either like
Thursday?
Tuesday or Thursday, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Oh, well, there you go.
So prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Make it Wednesday. Heck, just drop it tonight. Right after the show, just hit the button.
What now?
No, because I want to leave. Uh, and this will be the most outdated stuff right here because we'll have to go through it anyway. Is that bad? The other part of me, I was like, I hope it releases Thursday so at least people on Wednesday get to see it and it's still relevant information. So if you're angry at me, tell me in the comments. But yeah, just a little update on that, and hopefully we'll get it Wednesday or Thursday. But like I said, they were going to show off a little bit more of the stuff you'll be seeing with this update in prime time last Thursday. And one of the big things was the different weapons we would be able to acquire from the Kuva Liches. So basically, if you're not familiar, after you figure out the rune word or whatever in the Parazon arm blade thing, I guess if you want to call it that, and you figure out the right word, I guess you could either finish them off or convert them to your side. And I think it's if you convert them, you get the weapon. Or I think either way, you might get the weapon. I'm not sure now. I'm trying to remember, but you get their weapon that they're holding. So, and it's a random thing of what type of weapon, and it only matters the type, not the modifiers. The modifiers don't give you extra MR or anything, master rank or anything like that. But the first time you get these weapons, they will give MR. So the new weapons that are coming in are as followed. We get 7 new primaries, 4 secondaries, and one melee and 1 arc gun. And if you're looking at that secondary screen, the reason there looks like there's 5 is I guess when they were searching it on Prime Time, for some reason the twin what is it, Roga weapons or whatever came up as well. So disregard that, the one that actually has a former ranking on it. But the 7 primaries that we'll be getting a chance to obtain are the Kuva Checker, which is a totally new weapon. The Kuva Dragoon, which is a Kuva-based weapon on one that's already available. The Kuva Karak, the Kuva Comb, Kuva Ogress, Kuva Quartek, and the Kuva Tonker. And like I said, the only new one out of the primaries that hasn't been seen at all is that Chakur. The secondaries is the Kuva Brack, Kuva Kraken, Kuva Seer, and Kuva Twin Stubbas, which it's kind of technically new. We have the Stubba weapon, but we never have a regular twin version. So technically it's new, but and yes, like chat's letting me know, a lot of people have expressed their idea that DE has missed out on calling it the Dubba Stubba, which I agree, that would be pretty good. The melee weapon that you see there is the Kuva Shieldeg, which is completely new. And the arc gun, which is the Kuva Ayanga, which is completely new as well. So lots of, a good amount of new, like completely new weapons, but usually if you're wondering why would I go after, like, for example, the Kuva Comb or something like that, there's usually over like the regular comb or anything like that, there's usually by default different modifiers, positive and negative, depending on if you are familiar with the other weapons. Like throughout the game, there's like the Prisma versions, there's the kind of blanking on the other types, but there's different versions of like the same weapon that just have like base stat shifts, and this is basically following along the same lines. So, but the nice thing out of this is this just alone is already, if you get all these weapons and are able to get them to rank 30 to get the mastery, this is already netting you 39,000 mastery. So I think they said all in all, with all the stuff like the new Grendel, the Kuva, or not the Kuva, the vampire kitty thing, I think there if you have everything maxed already, you can actually get to mastery rank 28 after this update. So, but yeah, what are your thoughts on the Kuva weapons coming in? Are there any that you're gravitating towards?
Get some weapons. The art gun might be interesting. I don't really play a lot with art guns, so we shall see. Toncore could be fun too. I don't remember all the weapons I have, but like I think those are the only. I think Toncore could be fun. I think Stubbas could be fun.
I was gonna say I'd have to just try the double stubbas just for the lulls.
But yeah, those are the only ones I can really pick out.
I'll definitely like to see what the melee weapon, what it can do. But yeah, so can't wait to hopefully see that in this coming week. Some other stuff from Prime Time that they were showing off for the update. Some of the mods that people had concerns about actually have stats. We were talking about last week condition overload, where they were basically limiting the condition overload. How it works is when it's on a melee weapon now, you get 60% damage for each different condition type on them, or status effect on them, and there was no limit on it. Well, now there's going to be condition overload. It's a max of 3 status effects. And originally last week we didn't know the percentage. A lot of people were worried it wasn't going to be high enough to compensate, but it will be 120% damage per status effect, up from 60. So, do you think that's a good compromise?
That's enough, yeah.
Now I know people have raised concern that it is good for like the sole people that are just trying to do it off of one weapon, but the people that like build around condition overload, apparently because how condition overload would ramp up its damage, if I'm not mistaken, was it would do 60% damage onto your weapon for the first stat or effect, and then 60% more. Like it wouldn't add the percentage, it would just increase it. Like,
yeah.
So apparently, if you were with one of the old builds, this would still be a kind of a nerf for you. And I think people were saying by roughly 600% damage of a nerf, which, though I think at the time I think it's coming out to already 1,000% damage anyway, but 600 still nothing to laugh at. But I mean, I'm fine with it because I did try to do it off of one weapon, so the max 3 thing for me kind of opens up a build variety personally for me. But I know a lot of people that were generally focused on the condition overload as a build throughout all their weapons. It seems like it might be a nerf for them.
I did it on the Wukong nunchucks, and it's reliant on the high status chance in order to do damage. So with this, it's just you need 3. So it's not the end of the world. I can fit other stuff in there to augment the damage instead.
Mm-hmm. That would be a good point. What could you add damage-wise to? Would that correct some of the?
I don't think it's corrected.
Percentage?
Yeah, I don't think it corrected. I think it might make up for it at best. So you put like organ shatter, stuff that increase your damage or multi-shot or things like that in general. You put on, and then kind of profit off that. I can't really come up with a bill off the top of my head right now, but
because we don't know, we're really not sure what else is changing, how the weapons are changing. They did say that they're making a pass through all the weapons, but in the end, we don't really. All the melee weapons, But yeah, in the end, we don't really fully know. But also, covert lethality will remain a dagger mod. It will be plus 16 initial combo, 100% finisher damage, which they did say pending on later review, depending on what they see. Also, killing blow will increase damage and decrease windup time. True punishment will give us a plus 40% critical chance and reduces chance to add to the combo counter by negative 10%. Then life strike, heavy attacks will heal 20%. So nice. Also some general Warframe weapon changes. Like, for example, depending on your Warframe, some abilities actually have their own weapon. So, for example, like Garuda Talons, the parrying angle is going to be 60%. Baruch's Desert Storm, they said the parrying angle is going to be 60%. It seemed like kind of uniform, depending on the size of the weapon. Like Exalted Blade, it's still a 60% thing, but the range is going to be 2.8. The damage is moving from 35 to 200. They added heavy attacks to it. Valkyr's Talons. The equipped melee means you stay invulnerable, so that's nice. They also did mention that the melee weapon Riven disposition will remain untouched until after they get more data post-launch. So if you are sitting on some Rivens waiting for the changes, you don't have to worry about it plummeting that stat, at least for now. But any other thoughts on some of the melee changes?
It's the status one I think I had the most interest in, just because it was one of the weapons I wanted to do as a go-to. But I think with that status change of going from like 30 to 60 to 120, I could make up for it in some respects because you're slotting less stat, chat, and Syndra to do damage in order to slot different damage mods. So that's kind of cool. In terms of the different parry angles, I don't really play any of these besides Valkyrie, sorry.
I'm definitely curious with the Exalted Blade, especially if you get the augment mod. Yeah, on Excalibur, if you get the augment mod, which turns it into kind of like Chroma's thing, where I think it's called Chromatic Blade. It basically turns it into it turns it into the element of whatever energy source you're using, whatever color.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it gives I forget how much percentage of status, and it might change with all this stuff. I didn't see it listed here. Yeah. But the interesting with it is, unless they've changed it with this new update, it actually, the status increase is based off of, or increased by Excalibur's ability strength. So you could easily get 100% status effect without even putting in a lot of the mods. So on top of putting in conditioned overload, heck, you might not even have to do a 60-60 status, mod. You could probably just do the regular straight status effect mods and still hit the... Yeah. I mean, you could already hit it, but with a lot less. And then you can probably put range and, more stuff on it, since you're only going to be hitting it to a max of 3. So I'm definitely curious once that goes out. That's the one I was kind of working towards anyway, but like I said, the condition overload change, I think, just makes it just a little bit better too.
Yeah, it reduces the dependency, which I like, essentially, on having status chance mod or status chance in general. Wow.
Some changes with the Ember rework. They wanted to note that the passive is 5% ability strength increase for enemies on fire within 50 meters. Also, the fireball scales with a combo counter like Atlas, basically increases with the duration. Immolation UI has a thermometer. Using fireball and inferno will increase it. Enemies no longer affected it builds up to 90% damage reduction. Once it maxes, it'll drain your energy, so there is a cast cost. And Fire Blast still expends it and melts enemy armor. And also, Inferno is replacing World on Fire. It costs energy per enemy in sight for a max of 10. After hitting an enemy with it, they'll still catch on fire and spread it around to nearby enemies, which I'm slightly disappointed that it's kind of like it's a worse version of World on Fire. Like it's not a since they put a enemy limit on it.
Yeah, that's changed. Gonna confuse people a little bit when they first get in.
Yep. Also, with the slight little Titania rework update, they did say that you will now be able to use the operator when using her 4, which puts her in the little pixie form. So that's good. I think they were saying there wasn't any really change from the Vauban update that we've last talked about. But any thoughts on the reworks?
World on Fire, the energy drain is going to be... I wonder if you can mitigate the energy drain or if it's just going to be a... Because you don't want to lose all your energy, but you want to kind of max out the damage on World on Fire. But if you get your energy from like 300 to 600, for example, and you max out your energy, will it legit take out all 600 and do like an insane amount of damage based on how much you expend, or will it take 300 and just go for that fixed amount of damage? That will be the interesting bit for me.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Because like if you want to do like a ton of damage and you have to channel more, but you have a 600 pool versus a 300 pool, you want... Obviously the 600 would do more damage based on how much you're expending and transforming into damage. But if that's not the case, then they just have a fixed amount, and I guess the 300 makes it okay, but you can still use the 600. It's kind of... I'm just curious how that damage plays out if you stand there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. We'll hopefully find out this week. I hope. Also, a little bit more information about the Parazon and Immortal mods. Basically, how to obtain the Immortal mods is through new Requiem relics. So these look like, basically, if you think of the gold relics that we have now, they're basically just red versions of them. You can get them from Kuva Floods, which is a 100% chance to get one from a Kuva Flood and 30% chance to get them from just regular Kuva missions. Then also, once you get the relics, you can go to the new Requiem fissures, which are basically the same as the Void Relic cracking system, but they are going to be specific fissures for them. Apparently they said you can use void traces to upgrade them, but it doesn't seem too bad because it looks like the Immortal mods appear to be an uncommon rarity, so hopefully it won't be too bad to get a hold of them. But they do... One thing that can drop from them is ribbon fragments, which now apparently when you get those you can collect 10 and visit Paladino at Iron Wake to exchange them for a ribbon mod. And the other is the Pexilus adapter, which to make that is 1 Forma, 1 Exceptional Core, 1 Orc and Cell, and 25,000 credits, which I believe the Pexilus adapter is those additional slots for the weapons that we've been talking about in the past. Like
based on rank.
They do go on to say that there are 8 unique Immortal mods, and do remember you have to basically figure out the three correct words of them before you have the chance to kill your Kuva Lich. So basically you're going to be jumbling around with 8 unique phrases. They do say there's 2 from each Requiem. And they are the Loke, Zata, Jahu, Bohm, Fas, Riss, Kihara or Kira, I don't know, and Netra. And then Reb did later explain on further, I think it was on Reddit, that they will be consumed on a successful use. So when you're doing the trial and error, if you fail, it's not like, oh, you got to go back and farm them. But when you do defeat the enemy, it will consume it. But fear not. Apparently, they did further say that there will be charges. So think of it like, it has like 3 goes or something. So, which is pretty nice. So,
it would be kind of funny if it's just like it fails and you press okay to get out, but then you try to get back in, but it's trying to send you back to like going in like an infinite circle, essentially, just trying to get it. Terrible, but
yeah, it would have been a pretty bad grind if it was one-time use, no matter success or failure. That would have been ugh. But yeah, any other thoughts on the Immortal mods or the like Requiem system?
No, everything seems good so far.
Are you ready to do some Kuva floods and Kuva missions?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Come on.
I have a lot of Kuva blood though. I think I'm using it for anything.
Yeah, but that's not how you get them. You gotta go into now to get the Requiem relics.
That's true, I guess.
And use all that Kuva blood to reroll your Rivens if you don't like them.
I only have the one Riven.
Just if you keep running these Requiem things, hopefully you'll get some Riven fragments. Look, it all circles around.
So. Stop justifying it.
Or just watch, a dev stream or prime time. Sometimes they'll give you some Rivens or a login reward.
Yeah.
There's many ways.
I forgot where I got my Riven from. Anyway. But yeah, it's cool. You get an adapter, you get I would say like if it's something that interests you, go for it, because it's you can get Riven mods out of it, you can get an adapter out of it. Seems good to me. High tier stuff.
Now, I know that one thing that people have been worried about is the acquiring Grendel, and they were talking about the Grendel keys. So basically, they will cost 25 Vetus essences for each part, so the neuroptics, systems, and chassis. They did still stress that you can share them with other people, and also failing the mission won't consume a key. So
the blueprints or the essence you can share with other people.
If you buy the key with the essences, I can join you in the thing, and hopefully the neurotics and stuff will drop.
Okay, cool. That means I have to get keys. Okay, fine.
Get ready to keep your head down in pain, because I know a lot of people are upset about, apparently there's going to be a Catch Moon nerf, which for people who don't know, Catch Moon is a specific kick gun that's built to basically delete the screen a lot of time. Has a big blast radius and can really decimate enemies. But apparently they are looking to nerf it. Basically, they're changing the fall off damage is dropping from 100 to 10. The projectile range is decreased to 20 meters from 40, and the fall off range is going to be 8 to 16 meters whereas it used to be 20 to 30 meters.
It's a big hit. Jeez.
Well, and they kind of went over it. They were I think they were saying at a certain master rank, I want to say around 25 or something like that. Like basically the higher it went up, it like I want to say at like 22 or so master rank, people like 50% of the people at that rank were using that. And then it was like 48%, 45% were using it at the like the majority, like this was kind of like the go-to weapon if you had it, the ability to get it. So much so when they would outright sell it, like for people to know, the kit guns or any of the kit weapons, if you go to, in this case, Fortuna, there's usually a random deal that has, it kind of automatically builds one together. Every once in a while, it can be the catch moon that is the desired build one that's like the go-to. I've seen so many people be like, post it like, don't miss out on, like, I mean, it's nice that the community is very helpful with it, but you don't really get that with every weapon. Like,
I gotta live and learn, I guess. So
it shows how much of a grasp it has on the meta.
Because like dropping 100 to 10 is pretty big in terms of fall off damage.
But it's also a secondary.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah, it's like,
really?
remember, it's a kit gun from Fortuna, so it's a secondary. Yeah.
I need 5 minutes. What's that? Catch. This is my.
Well,
this
it
is my
might
personal...
just come up because usually people name it from the one particular part, but I'm sure if you look up Catch Moon build, it'll. But I forget what the other pieces are recommended for it, but.
What's the projectile look like? Does it look like a
mushroom
like a
type
Sonic
thing?
Like a Sonic
radar gun
circle? Yeah, radar gun. Yeah, is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen the people use that. There's
that's
multiple
why
different guns. All right, that explains
they're probably running a Catch Moon build that uses the correct parts, because you can't build a Catch Moon technically that doesn't have the right parts, because like I said, it's named after the one particular, basically the thing that I think gives the mastery rank. But yeah, it's kind of pretty broken.
I can build this. Excuse me.
Well, there's no point at this point. I mean, do it for the mastery rank and see maybe if you still like it afterwards. I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
But I mean, unless you just want to enjoy it for possibly the last 2 or 3 days, or you get this and really hope that they delay the updates some more. I don't know. Like,
get my value now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're gonna shoot things and go, this is cool. This would have been nice to have earlier, but yeah. And I think for the same reasons, they're actually considering looking at the Fulmin, which is a primary, and the Arca Plasmor, which is also a primary, that kind of are along the same lines. And I will agree, because I do love the Fulmin. While it hurts inside, it is like, it's the one that came with Wisp, where the one mode is a shotgun style blast and the other one's like a rifle. The shotgun one, I do have to say, has a pretty good range for a shotgun. Granted, it's supposed to be like an electrical discharge shotgun thing, but it is pretty good for that. I mean, so once again, I'm in the like Catch Moon camp of, while it would suck because I do love that gun, I understand, but it is great.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll see.
So, apologies to all the Catch Moon people out there, but enjoy it while you can. But any final thoughts? Are you gonna go out and build one and enjoy the last couple hours? Well,
let's see tomorrow, I guess. Yeah.
Also, a little bit of information about the vampire Kavats. They did say the Kavat needs to get bitten. Then, once infected, you can extract the imprint from it to make the new Vaska Kavat. They do say your Kavat will glow red to indicate it has been infected. You can remove it with the cure from Master Tisani. Also, the Kavat imprints has also been increased so that you can get 3 from each Kavat. So,
that's pretty
pretty
nice.
nice. Yeah. So, everybody enjoy getting your Kavats bitten, you horrible, horrible owners.
Yep. Mine's a baby one.
Oh, that's even worse. I mean, granted, I don't think you could take it out, but that would be horrible.
Yeah. Oh, that means I have to grow mine. I don't want to grow mine. I'll make a second. Guess I'll make a second one.
You're gonna make a second. Oh, you're literally breeding something. You're creating life just so it can be bitten. You're horrible.
I have the slots.
Oh, okay. Now it's all right. Jeez, you're horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, disgusted.
It'll get better. It's fine. Learn from the heat of battle. If it gets bitten, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it is. You created it for this purpose. We have evidence now.
No, I didn't. I never said it was just for getting bitten.
Uh-huh.
Can make one for combat. Because I actually don't have a Kavat for combat.
Okay.
See?
Is this how you're gonna allow yourself to sleep at night?
Yes. Because then I'll have the high mech charger of a regular Kubro. I need to make a baby Kubro. I have a Kavat, and then I'll have a baby Kavat, and then I'll have the vampire Kavat. Boom. Science.
You're creating them just so it can get bitten. That's like out of some kind of creepy horror movie.
I blinded you with science.
Like it's out of a creepy horror movie. Which, speaking of making a horror movie setting, you'd probably want a good setting like that, like a good thematic place for your horrible creations.
I hate you so much. I didn't see that coming, and I have the notes open every time, and it's like I should see this coming, but I don't. It makes me sad. Anyway, continue.
But we talked about it last week, but if you are so inclined, they are running a contest for the Orbiter Haunt contest. Basically, you can decorate your dojo or your Orbiter like a haunted house or a horrible lab where you're getting your Kavat bitten. Ugh. So they want you to submit your images or video of your haunted house in the thread, which, just in case, if you are watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, the recording, the link will be in the description. But if you want to join, the link is in chat there. Though you do have to be quick, since it does end October 31st at 1 p.m., so time is ticking. Especially if we're going to get the update. You're not going to want to decorate your dojo while you want to go fight a Kuva Lich. But yeah, so dojos and orbiters will be judged separately, which means there will be 5 dojo and 5 orbiter winners, permitting enough entries. Which, once again, remember, first place is an Atlas Prime access. Second place will be 1,000 platinum. Third place, 750 platinum. Fourth place, 500 platinum. And fifth place, 250 platinum.
Nice.
But do remember, there are some rules, and while I read them off, they did post in that forum post some little ideas or inspirations that they had, so you can see them right there while we're talking about the rules. 1 submission per player. You must choose one category, dojo or orbiter. The submission must be your original work. Also, it must be appropriate for the community forums. If multiple clan members contributed to a dojo submission, please list all of their in-game aliases in your post. Also, images cannot be photoshopped, edited, or manipulated. Also, of course, do not reserve posts in the thread. And submissions that do not follow the rules will be disqualified. And like I said before, The contest ends Thursday, October 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And they did say all players from each platform can participate. So,
Dude, I have a question. So, if a clan enters the contest, do they all get Atlas Prime?
that's what I was wondering since they said list everyone. I'm not
Or is it
100%
just
sure.
for, or if it's just like there's a main person and then the recognition for everyone else? I have no idea.
Yeah, that I'm not 100%
I
positive
would
on because
I would assume. I actually I really don't know.
yeah,
That's
that's
a
the
good
interesting
question.
thing because the wording is if multiple clan members have contributed. So it's not like they're going to be like, oh, it's a uh storm rank clan, so we're gonna have to give out like 100 or
Yeah, yeah,
prime
that's what I'm
accesses.
thinking. But
But
like,
it's like, oh, you had 5 people, like, so yeah, I'm not
I
sure
mean, to them,
because
it's to me, to them, it's like currency. At that point, it's. I mean, I don't think there'd be a problem with giving it away, the platinum, at least to like 50 people, but um, it's just an I don't know. I don't know if there's a limit.
well, that's what you should do. You should decorate the dojo, credit me as well as a contributor, and let's get one of these placements and see if I win something.
I'll put you first. I think you'll get more out of Atlas than me. So
Nah.
be the main.
Well, now I no because that one of the rules is it must be your original work. I don't want to take credit for. I just want to
Then
piggyback off the credit. It doesn't say that anywhere in the rules that I can't.
you could take the picture.
I will contribute something to the dojo so you can use it.
Yeah.
I and that way technically I help. There we go.
But contribution can vary in terms of percentage. I could contribute 90%, you can contribute 10%, but we both contributed. So we're still within the realm of the rules.
Yes.
So you can still submit first.
Do,
And
do you think DE right now, if they are hearing this, are like, what are these two's usernames so we can ban them?
My username is Anjira.
Oh, snap.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh boy.
For the record, it's not his, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the answer to what you're asking.
That's
But you
it.
know, chat's
Oh, okay. I'll swap it to VTavic. So that's V. No, wait. VTAV. I confused the V's for a second because I said VTavic.
can't even spell your own username.
I
I
know.
put air quotes around that one.
It's hard. It's hard
But
sometimes.
like I said, unfortunately, I don't have the answer to your question for this one.
Yeah.
But you know what I do have the answer for? The age-old answer. And for people who don't know, we made a little segment every episode where we're gonna try to pick a random Warframe wiki page that will hopefully maybe we'll learn something from it. But yeah, this week our age-old answer is simply Blight. Which for people that
good for Halloween.
Yeah, it was actually kind of fitting. But for people who don't know, Blight is an effect associated with the Red Veil Syndicate. It is activated by acquiring affinity with a Syndicate weapon or a weapon equipped with a weapon augment mod, which you can earn from the Red Veil Syndicate itself.
Mm-hmm.
The trigger effects are all enemies within 25 meters of the player receive 1,000 viral damage and guaranteed status effect. The player recovers 25% of their base energy, and their base movement speed is increased by 10% for 30 seconds.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's actually different ones for each syndicate. Which actually, now that I'm thinking of it, because basically as you get these points towards it with experience, eventually it, after you reach a certain amount, it uses that effect. So it's not like a constant thing. But heck, I should go back and see if I assume one of them has like a flame effect. That could be great for Ember now. I mean, if it can keep fire on them, or since they're really playing around with the status stuff. But but some of the, as you're seeing on the video there, some of the weapons that have it innately from the Red Veil Syndicate are the Racta Ballistica and the Racta Cernos. But also, there are Blatant mods. One for the Embolist, one for the Dark Dagger, which I know that one I think was used, that mod in particular was used a lot for Inaros dagger builds. If you use the Racta, which is another syndicate's, or I think it's this syndicate's dagger weapon, and then you put the mod in there because it gives like plus 100% status chance. That was really nice. The kunai and the Meyer weapons also have mods for them, but so definitely check those out. And heck, with all the changes, maybe check out some of the other syndicate effects. But yeah. So well, I guess we always ask, did you learn something from that age with this week's age-old answer?
Did
You seem pretty surprised.
I did. I didn't know that there were effects that with different syndicates. So that's kind of cool.
Oh boy, we just opened up a world of more possibilities.
Yeah, the base move is speed by 10% for 30 seconds. That's Gauss potential right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that those two other things are pretty standard. I think the only thing that really changes is the different status between these different syndicates. So
yeah, that 1,000 vial damage and guaranteed status. That's pretty nice too. Shit. It's pretty cool.
But,
I like it. I dig it.
Oh, yay! We learned something.
Oh yeah, I learned something. Yeah.
But I know we usually say that for the last segment, but there was one more bit of news that we just wanted to update people on, which I know we talked about it in one of the previous episodes. YouTuber, content creator, Grindhard Squad. We were talking about, he had a I think it was a GoFundMe in particular, but for his mother she was trying to fight against her cancer. There was a Reddit post and also a YouTube video just with an update on it. The link and stuff will be in the description if you want to go check it out. But yeah, it was, he let people know, unfortunately she did pass away. I believe they said it kind of got to her bones and stuff, which I know from family that's gone through that. That's one of those things, like if it spreads to your bones, that's just that's a very tough battle. So it's horrible for it to happen to anyone, and I couldn't even imagine or fathom what he's going through, losing his mother. And but yeah, I know there was a whole so much support, like he was saying. Definitely check out the video. He talks about how there was so much support from DE, the community, everything, and him and his mother were just so grateful, and just but
yeah, it's kind of cool when especially like his community in general, just like helping him out and supporting him as best as they can as well. So it's always like that alone, honestly, is really cool. So much luck to him, and hopefully he gets through and comes back, I guess, when he gets the time, or maybe he's making content as well. I don't know how he's going to go through it, but hopefully he can come through and move forward, I guess, is the best way I can put it.
But yeah, that was just a kind of quick update we wanted to give about it, since we did talk about it in the past, as to try to, with what little voice we have in the Warframe community, or even general gaming community, we wanted to spread that word, but figured, let people know any update that happened from that. So yeah, that wraps up this week. And Age, where can they find you?
Twitch and YouTube, Age Road. I can't guarantee tomorrow if I'll stream anything. Mostly because I'm trying this thing called sleep. Seems to be working. But if anything, try to drop by and do some Halloween stuff in Warframe. Maybe Guild Wars 2 too if there's time, but I kind of do want to check out the Halloween Warframe because since I never have, so should be fun.
Well, if you do, and I'm on, even on in our Discord and whatnot, just let me know. I'll run it with you and whoever else is in our Discord that needs to get done, because like I said, there's only a couple days left of it, so
sure thing.
But yeah, was that everything?
Yeah, that's all I got going.
Okay. And you can find me at simply_Deo on Twitch and Twitter, but more than likely Twitch wise, you can find me always here at MAAD Realms, 2 A's in the MAAD. Like we tried to say last week, do remember that we're no longer tapering it, so it's not going to go to the website next day and then YouTube the following day. It's all just going to be on the website and YouTube on Wednesdays, so definitely check that out. But so yeah, you got people on YouTube get it as an early treat. We do highlight it on our Twitch, which our Twitch and YouTube are twitch.tv/MAADrealms, 2 A's the MAAD. Also MAADrealms.com is our website. But yeah, that is it for this week. Everybody if you're celebrating Halloween, have a safe Halloween. If you haven't already celebrated some of it, since it is kind of in the middle of the week there. But yeah, we'll see everybody next time. Take care.
Bye.
Farewell, Tenno, until we meet again.